Hello, my name is Toby Madden. I'm the primary broker for Minnesota Nice Properties, a full-service realty and property management company. For the next few minutes, we're going to talk about relationships and the required disclosure by the state of Minnesota in relationships. You see, people that are professionals in real estate know a lot of information. And in the past, they've abused that power that they had of knowledge with people that didn't know much about real estate. And so the state of Minnesota enacted several laws. And the laws regarding that people that deal in real estate for a fee are required to hold a license. And as part of that, anybody that they deal with, they owe honesty and fair dealing. In addition, if they help out a person in a transaction as a facilitator, where they don't have a written agreement, let's say, and they're just assisting with a transaction, they owe confidentiality. But if they actually represent somebody, that is, they have an agreement to represent, then they have a fiduciary responsibility with lots of more duties owed. These duties include loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care, and accounting. So, for example, a licensed professional could represent a seller or a landlord, and they would owe that seller or landlord all these things like loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care, and accounting. However, they could also, not in addition, but they could also represent a buyer or tenant, and they would owe the buyer or tenant these responsibilities as well. Now, if they both represented both the seller and the buyer, or the landlord and the tenant, that would be considered dual agency. They would represent both. And in that case, they'd have to keep the confidentiality for the party at hand, but still owe other responsibilities. Now, the state of Minnesota requires at first substantive contact that the agent or broker discloses information about relationships to any prospective customer. And the state of Minnesota would like you to sign a disclosure at first substantive contact that says that you've read through and discussed these responsibilities in agency relationship, which I just discussed in the past few minutes. In addition, they also wanted to warn you that predatory offender information can be found by contacting your local law enforcement. Minnesota Nice Properties also follows fair housing laws and the Equal Housing Opportunity Company, and we do not discriminate based on race, color, religion, national origin, disability, familial status, creed, marital status, public assistance status, or sexual orientation. Thank you for listening to the discussion about agency relationships.